If you're wondering, where the heck is my $1,200 stimulus check and when am I going to see it in my account? Then you are in the right place. We're going to go through the reasons why you might not have received it yet and also what you can do to check on the status and make sure it actually goes through. Guys, if you find this video helpful, make sure to do me a favor and click that like button below. It helps share the video with more people so I can help out as many people as I can. So by now you've heard the whole deal, yada yada. Most Americans who qualify will receive a $1,200 check either through direct deposit or mail. You can check out my other YouTube video to see if you actually qualify. I go into all the details on what the guidelines are and whether or not you will qualify based on your last year's tax return. So according to the IRS, checks are being deposited in people's bank accounts since April 11th. This is for people that have their direct deposit on file with the IRS, which usually means that they submitted a 2018 or 2019 tax return in the past. If you don't yet see your money in your account, but you do think you're eligible, don't fret because I think it is just being a little bit delayed and you should be seeing your money soon. Next up, the IRS says that they're gonna start paying Social Security beneficiaries who don't normally file a tax return, but normally do receive their payments by direct deposit. And then finally, in late April or early May, that's when they said they're gonna start sending out actual paper checks. So let's get into the 10 reasons why you might not have received your money yet. If any of these applies to you, that's probably what's withholding you from actually receiving your money temporarily or entirely. So number one is your adjusted gross income is just too high. So there is a bit of confusion about what AGI stands for, adjusted gross income. Adjusted gross income is very simple to calculate. First, find your gross income, and this is your income before you pay any taxes. And if you have multiple streams of income, make sure to add all those up. After that, what you're gonna wanna do is subtract out all your adjustments. These adjustments can be things that qualify as deductions, including things such as business expenses, charitable donations, student loan interest, and a lot more. Once you get an amount, this is your AGI. If this amount is over $99,000 and you are a single filer, this means you're not gonna receive any stimulus check. If it's under $75,000, that means you're gonna get the whole $1,200. And if you're in between that, you will receive a prorated amount. So yeah, look at your last year's tax return and look at the AGI that is listed on it. This is what the government is going to use in order to see if you qualify or not. Number two is your bank account info is actually incorrect or it's missing. So there's two ways that your bank account information might be affecting you actually receiving your money. First, it depends if you filed individually, married, or married filing separately. This matters because the type of bank account that you put on your last year's tax return has to match this. If, for example, you filed individually, but the bank account that you put on your last tax return is a joint account, this means your payment is not going to go through. And vice versa, if you filed jointly, but the bank account listed is actually just an individual account, that's also not going to work. So double check that. And if it doesn't match up, what you can do is log on to the new IRS portal, which is coming out on April 17th, called Get My Payment. And on there, they're going to let you actually update your payment information. Second is if you just didn't put your bank account information on your last tax return. Some people prefer receiving checks. I don't know why, because that's a lot slower, but some people did that. And in that case, that means the IRS does not have your direct deposit information. This means that you are on track to receive a paper check either in late April or as late as September. I assume most of you guys don't want to receive your money that late, so it's going to make a lot of sense for you to go to the IRS portal that opens on April 17th and update your information there. If you did pay your taxes directly through your bank account last year, or you received a tax return directly into your bank account, but you still haven't yet received your money, this could mean that your bank is still processing it, because I know some banks are taking much longer than others. So one thing you can do is actually call your bank and see if they are processing that payment. Third is you made a lot of money last year, but right now you are unemployed or you're making a lot less money. So if you already filed your 2019 taxes and your income on that tax return said that you were ineligible to receive a stimulus check, then right now you are not supposed to receive a stimulus check. However, if you did lose your job or if you are working fewer hours now due to the pandemic or any other reason, you are still going to be eligible. You are still eligible and you will receive your money. The only bad news is that you won't receive your money this year. You have to wait until next year's tax return to actually get that stimulus money. So let's say last year you were making like $120,000 per year and everything was going great. Well, after that, you got laid off or you started working much less, and right now you actually do qualify based on your AGI. This means that you can actually claim your stimulus check for your 2020 tax return. The bad part about this is that if you do need that money right now, if you are strapped for cash right now, unfortunately, you won't be able to receive it until next year. If you are struggling, make sure to take advantage of any of the programs that the government has put into place. For example, if you are out of work or if you're working fewer hours, make sure to file for unemployment. The new CARES Act has expanded unemployment coverage to self-employed and independent contractors. Although right now it seems like most states haven't yet set up their systems in order for these people to apply. But if you did have a traditional W-2 job, then you can apply right now. And the federal government is also giving you an extra $600 payment per week for the next 13 weeks. Number 4 is you owe child support. This is definitely not the best situation, but if you are late on your child support payments, then unfortunately your stimulus money will be withheld. So this is a somewhat simple one to fix. If you owe money right now, pay it and then you will be eligible to receive your money. However, I do think it will be delayed. This brings me to my next point, my 5th point, which is, are you still gonna get your stimulus money even if you owe money to the government? The good news is, yes, if you have some sort of tax debt right now, then the government is still actually going to give you your stimulus money. The only type of debt that they care about right now in qualifying you for a stimulus check is child support. So if you don't have any child support payments, but you have other payments which you are late on, don't worry, you still will get your stimulus money. However, I still encourage you to start paying off those debts because they will hurt you in the long run. But of course, I don't know your financial situation, so I can't tell you guys what to do, but just keep that in mind. Number 6 is you didn't file taxes anytime in the last 2 years. So if you are low income and you haven't filed a tax return for 2018 or 2019, the good news is that you are eligible for stimulus check. The annoying part is you do have to go through an extra step to actually claim your money. This does not apply to low income individuals who actually receive Social Security benefits. If that's you, then you're good. You don't need to take any additional steps. However, if you're not on Social Security, then what you have to do is you have to go to the irs.gov website. And on there, you can actually register manually by clicking on the non-filers button. This is somewhere on the first page. I actually made another YouTube video just about this whole process, so I'll link that in the description below. This IRS portal is only for people that make under $12,000 per year, since that means you're under the standard deduction anyways for 2019 and you don't need to file a tax return. Apparently, about 10 million Americans will fall into this category. The reason why you need to register is because the government technically doesn't know how much money you make. So what you're doing when you register here is you are telling the government that yes, you are low income and you make under $75,000 per year. Then they'll be like, okay, yes, this person does qualify for a stimulus check, and they'll send it to you. The whole application process only takes a few minutes, so it's actually not too bad. Number 7 is if you are a college student or a student in general. Unfortunately, if you are listed as a dependent for someone, you won't be eligible. This means that pretty much all students and even college students will not be eligible. So what is a dependent? Well, a dependent by law is someone who's under the age of 19, who lives with someone for at least half the year and also has at least half of their expenses paid by that person. However, for the stimulus, college students that are even living full-time at their school who relies on someone for at least half their expenses is also going to be listed as a dependent. So if you are young, ask your parent to see if they did claim you as a dependent on their last tax return. If they did, that means you won't get it, but they may qualify for a $500 payment. Even if they don't claim you as a dependent, but legally you are a dependent, that also means, unfortunately, you will not qualify. Okay, number 8 is you're either elderly or disabled. While most elderly people should qualify for a stimulus check, those that are actually listed as dependents by someone else will not receive it. This is similar to the previous point, where anyone who is eligible based on their income should receive a stimulus check. If you are also listed as a dependent for someone, unfortunately, you don't qualify. This applies to senior citizens or the disabled who are actually dependent on someone as their caretaker. If a senior citizen or a disabled person is reliant on someone else to cover their expenses, then it's likely that that person has listed them as a dependent, and unfortunately, that person will not get a stimulus check. Number 9 is some immigrants won't be eligible. If you're an immigrant with a green card or an H-1B or H-2A work visa, then you are eligible. However, if you are a non-resident alien or an undocumented immigrant, then unfortunately you are not qualified. And yeah, this actually does apply to undocumented immigrants who do pay their taxes using a taxpayer identification number. It's really unfortunate, but that's just how the government has structured this stimulus check. And number 10 is newborn babies. If you are a newborn baby and you are watching this video, well, congratulations. That means you're pretty ahead of your age. Just kidding. If you are a new parent and you had a child in 2020, that means you're going to have to wait until 2021 to actually receive your $500 payment per child. That's because this stimulus check is based on your tax return for 2018 or 2019. So as long as you meet your income requirements for this year and you still have your baby by next year, that means you should get a check. All right, you guys, so those are the 10 reasons why you might not have actually received your stimulus money just yet. I guess the government has to be like, here is who this money actually goes to, and here is a strict set of rules. If you watch this whole video and none of these 10 things applies to you, well then you should be receiving your money. By now, it's pretty much guaranteed that this $1,200 is going to be in your bank account at some point. The question is, and the more annoying point is, when is this money gonna come? So if you still are waiting, make sure the IRS actually has your payment info on hand. And if you don't, take advantage of the Get My Payment IRS portal, which is going live on April 17th. There you can actually update your information. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching. If you found this video useful, make sure to share it with a friend. I know a ton of people are thinking the same thing, like, hey, where's my money? I'm checking my bank account every single day and it's still not there. Hopefully this video answers some of your questions on why this might be. And guys, when you like or subscribe to my channel, it helps me out a ton as a content creator and it helps me create more content just like this. Okay, that's it for today. Thanks so much for watching and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.